There's something that all Terraria players have in common, that being an intense hatred of the NPCs that inhabit the game's universe. And if you don't hate them all, you hate at least one of them. I am absolutely no exception to this rule of thumb. I hate it when NPCs let mobs who are ready to deliver me a slap that does an amount of damage only equivalent to the real emotional damage people who play this game regularly have. I hate it when NPCs charge me egregious prices to break my weapons. And most of all, I hate it when the nurse leaves the box, causing me to catch the hands of an eldritch horror from the moon beyond my comprehension. Due to this hatred of NPCs, I'm doing the world a favor by boycotting their services. Today you will get to watch me embark on a hellish journey through Terraria as I try to beat the game without spending money whatsoever. Naturally, this will lead to a number of quirks and goofs that affect the playthrough, but I'll explain them as they rear their ugly heads and become relevant later. And trust me, playing the game without spending money affects it more than you'd initially think. The rules are simple. I can collect money, but I can't spend it in an NPC shop. Also, I will be using the following mods. Good morning, folks, unless it's not morning when you're watching this. I am your host, Andrew, and welcome to Lobotomy Town. It all starts on a character creation screen, where I cook up the most frugal gentleman possible. His traits include him being a redhead, and him also having red hair. Did I mention he's a redhead? What a loser. He has red hair and he saves money. Ew. How is he supposed to buy any Drip Drop Gucci Prada Supreme with that mindset? Perhaps he should hit up the slot machine sometime to double his money. Enough about that guy, let's get into the playthrough part of the playthrough. I immediately begin accelerating deforestation, then participate in the famous Try Not to Get Embarrassed by Slimes challenge. I proceed to nearly lose that challenge. Fortunately, I'm too epic pro hacker Sigma for that. I find a spear, then head off to the right, where I find a desert. Those cacti look gross and natural. We can't have a functional ecosystem anywhere near me, or I will feel inspired by it and go feral in a Walmart. So I harvest the cacti to be made into the latest pokey fashion trend, cactus armor. I venture further to the right and find a cave. In said cave, I break a pot, and a coin portal shows up to remind me about the thing I decided to do with my day. In the cave, I find a boomerang that immediately outclasses my spear, then I get crushed by a sandball while trying to get 4 iron ore. Thank you, Terraria. At spawn, I make the cactus armor I forgot to make earlier, and then get to work making a premium luxury box house. Look, how beautiful. I also force feed my boomerang a fallen star to transform it into Aid the Enchanted Boomerang, in the process creating footage that someone out there will get a little bit too excited watching. I head back into the caves in hopes that this time a grain of sand decides that I didn't look at him in a weird way, and that instead it must be seeing things. I find various ores, gems, and even a life crystal. But best of all, I find a flare gun. Thank you, Terraria, very cool. Then a hoplite enters the room to celebrate this momentous occasion by driving a javelin directly through my forehead, dealing 105 damage. After performing the walk of shame back to the cave, I end up where I left off, and don't even dare challenge the hoplite who pranked me London style earlier. Instead, I advance in an endless search for game progression. Unfortunately, another hoplite spawned, looked me dead in the eyes, saw his son in my eyes, then proceeded to haymaker Mike Tyson hammer me into the nearest wall. Please, please, please. I just made it back down. I perform the walk of shame, again, then continue further down the cave. There I discover Ground Zero of Hoplite Town, aka the Marble Biome. I don't go down there, however, and instead discover a chest with another flare gun. After that, I decide that perhaps the Marble Biome might actually contain something of use. Believe it or not, it does. Shoe spikes. I can't even be mad. Then I get piranha'd. Never mind, I can be mad. Hey look, it's a very useful... A couple more gruesome mining sessions later, and I discover the underground jungle and a cute, very demure life crystal along with more ore. When I get home, I have all the resources I need to craft an extra basic set of iron armor and a gem hook. Now all that sets me apart from the Eye of Cthulhu is a pair of J's. And getting those J's would prove to be excruciating beyond measure. I head down to the caves again and die. Underground jungle. Regret my actions harder than I ever have before. Feral claws that aren't really useful as of now. Leave the game dead inside. What was just around 10 seconds for you was an hour and 10 minutes of suffering for me. Thank you, Terraria. Caving is clearly getting me nowhere, so I decide to take a break. I head down one last time to collect marble and leave the caves. I collected all that marble because it is the perfect material to construct my latest architectural masterpiece out of, the soup. Specially designed to make any event mob cower in fear, it is the perfect way to convert your hatred of events into fine dining. Why would you ever build a standard coward pyramid when you could make a far superior soup bowl? I kind of stole this idea from a co-op world I play on with a friend, but come on. It's better than a boring coward pyramid. Is it efficient? No. Is it funny? Absolutely. If I ever do another Terraria challenge run on this channel, it will come with another soup bowl, because that's my style. After finishing the soup, I head to the Crimson. Then bust open 3 Crimson Hearts and develop Stage 4 Eldritch Brain Cancer. From the hearts I get an Undertaker, a Crimson Rod, and a Panic Necklace. Now typically the Undertaker would be a good weapon option, however I cannot reliably get ammunition for it because that has to be bought from an arms dealer. Which means that in the long term, Ranger is not a viable class for this playthrough. But now that the Crimson Hearts have been broken, all the variables that allow the Goblin Army event to occur are checked, and I can go back to the caves knowing that one day I will get to soup the goblins. That brings me that tiny bit of happiness I need to return to the pneumoconiosis lifestyle. In the caves I find some life crystals, a mushroom biome, an extractinator, and something that makes me far happier than goblin soup ever could. Could this be the day? Could this be the chest? Yes! Oh! Oh! It's been years. Oh! The goddamn Jays. At home, I extractinate all my silt, make silver armor, make a fancy sauce platinum bow, and set up magic storage. Truly riveting gameplay, am I right? Now that all the preparations are in place, I build an Eye of Cthulhu arena. But then, a group of green-skinned losers had other plans. I was kind of hoping this would happen earlier while I was caving, but hey, nothing is better at putting a smile on my face than goblin soup. I mean, look at this. It's just beautiful. However, one problem did come up. All of the pockets around the soup are great places for mobs to spawn in, jacking up the spawn rates, making the soup utterly useless. This can be solved later by putting in my own walls, so not a big deal but still inconvenient. Once the goblins are defeated, I realize something. I don't even have a suspicious-looking eye, let alone the 6 lenses needed to craft one. So I head back into the caves for one final round, in hopes to find a suspicious-looking eye in a chest. However, I find something far more rare than that. Wait, what? No way! No way! Huh? I don't need this platinum bow anymore. This platinum bow is useless. I'm at a loss for words. Yes, that's right. I just stumbled across an enchanted sword sitting out in the open in a random cave below the soup. RNG has blessed me. Along with that, I get to full health, which is also pretty good. The only curse of this mining session is finding the Goblin Tinker, who will not be stealing any money from me this playthrough. But to be fair, I will come to realize later that the Goblin Tinker is an NPC that we take for granted as a player base. Not being able to spend money means that the Tinker's Workshop and Rocket Boots are impossible to get. That means no Evolving Past Hermes Boots and no Ankh Shield. I also, of course, can't reforge. Since I am playing on Master Mode, I am sure to notice how much of an effect this has later, especially considering the fact that I always reforge all my accessories to warding. The lack of defense from warding is probably going to get me dug down more times than I can count on my fingers. I leave the caves with a full inventory of valuable loot, but I still don't get a suspicious-looking eye, so the Eye of Cthulhu will have to wait. At home, while I'm working on expanding the magic storage, a blood moon happens. I'd be mad, but this could get me a valuable accessory like the shark tooth necklace, and the lenses I need to finally fight the Eye of Cthulhu. I do get the lenses, but nothing else really, apart from this snazzy, drippy, dare I say, fancy top hat. In the morning, it starts raining slimes, so I start stabbing them with my only treasure in life, to challenge King Slime. Perhaps I can finally scratch my excruciating itch for game progression. The progression was feeling so slow that I genuinely was a ticking time bomb, ready to go off in a small family's home if denied a boss kill. King Slime spawns and I try to kill him using flaming arrows and my platinum bow. The fight seems to actually be going well. Dare I say that I'm feeling something right now? I accidentally magic mirror. Don't you worry about me, I'm perfectly mentally stable right now and not ready to join the Walmart parking lot dwellers. I craft a suspicious-looking eye, finally, then I conveniently start feeling the presence of a Discord moderator watching me closely, ready to ban me for posting a meme in general. Looks like the Eye of Cthulhu himself has decided to pay me a personal visit to convert me into one of his Discord kittens.
Did you just post a meme in general? I'm going to have to ban you for that one. It's against the code of section 2-6, otherwise known as no speaking.
It doesn't go smoothly for him because I start throwing hands.
Known asterisks.
You have 2 choices. One option, be banned. Option 2, be my kitten.
Nah, yo ass tweaking.
You have revoked the section option by saying that.
Option asterisk.
I then exploit his one weakness, apathy. I don't care that I'm banned from this hooligan's Discord server. I don't care if you ban me, to be honest.
Did you just exhale deeply in my server?
Yeah, so what are you gonna do, cry?
You yellow son of a gun. Did you just talk back to the supreme leader?
Yes, aren't I cool?
Put on that fedora and hit the road, Jack.
Your server is so dead, no one is even here to witness this conversation.
Just like your hippo mom.
My hippo mom? Bruv, you're heavier than the sun.
Touche, but still not acceptable.
After a long battle of back and forth Discord arguing, he realizes that he lacks hands to catch mine with. Since he in fact cannot catch these hands, he spontaneously combusts. Upon showering in his eyeball remains and souping his relic, I head straight to the Crimson to make a Brain of Cthulhu arena, because I haven't bullied Cthulhu's organs enough yet, and I need to get back at the Brain for giving me stage 4 Eldritch brain cancer earlier. I prepare my Jester's arrows and summon the Brain.
I forget to place down my heart lantern.
The start of this battle could not be going worse. The Brain eyeballs immediately infect me with every disease known to man, including slowness, making dodging impossible. After the slowness wears off, the battle gets a little easier. However, the lack of vertical mobility I have without a precious pair of rocket boots makes dodging utterly impossible, and despite my best efforts, I succumb to the diseases the eyeballs gave me. My Eldritch brain cancer has now evolved to stage 5. It is no joke now. At any moment, Spider-Man may enter my hospital room and ask me what my dying wish is. I summon the Brain again. This is my final chance to beat my Eldritch brain cancer. This time around, the start actually goes well. I fire my arrows into the eyes, like my life depends on it, making sure I don't get hit by them, to avoid catching any more diseases than I already have. I take down all the Brain eyes, then the battle really begins. I like to think that the Brain of Cthulhu's breath contains trace amounts of illegal substances. It would certainly explain the whole trippy duplication clone thing it likes to do. I fire in random directions, hoping to find the real one, so it doesn't get an opportunity to touch me. The Brain takes away 3/4 of my health. However, it too is on its last leg. In what felt like the clutch of a lifetime, I finished off the Brain and officially beat my Eldritch brain cancer. I head home and soup the Brain of Cthulhu relic in celebration. Soon after, a meteorite lands, and I explore the left side of my world in search of it, because I have a plan. You see, classes like Ranger and Mage, as previously stated, aren't viable options for this playthrough, because for each of them to be played effectively, you have to rely on NPCs. For the Mage specifically, you rely on the Merchant and Wizard to purchase mana potions. However, the lack of range associated with Summoner and Melee doesn't sound too enticing to me. So that left all the classes seemingly off the table, except for Mage, for one specific reason. The Space Gun, like all other Mage weapons, costs mana, but when paired with the Meteorite armor, it doesn't. And free infinite ammunition is not just something that I can get behind in this playthrough, but also something I can get behind as a proud American. I craft myself an out-of-this-world gun and armor set. Then I head to the underground jungle, also known as the worst biome in the game of Terraria. You're probably wondering why I came to the underground jungle then. Oh, you aren't? Okay, geez. I'm gonna explain it anyways. I came to get an axe of regrowth and to build a Plantera arena in preparation for hard mode, of course, which will be incredibly inconvenient because I can't purchase dynamite to make the process go by quicker. And while I'm at it, I decide to bully Queen Bee despite her having nothing I want, because why not? I build a shaft near her hive for easy access to the arena, then summon Queen Bee. Last battle with the Brain of Cthulhu, I had a heart lantern to aid me, but this time I'm raw dogging it like a true Sigma.
I'm sorry, did I just take 57 damage?
Alright then, it's about time to panic and run to the hills. I have been immediately reminded of why I do not ever use this armor set in a million years. I have no defense to speak of. My defense is equal to the amount of showers Twitter users see in the span of a human lifetime. No, it is not called X, you heathenist Elon Musk enjoyer. I also thought that filling the arena with more platforms than usual would make up for my lack of vertical mobility. It in fact did not. With dodging being harder than talking to women, and Queen Bee's slaps hitting harder than the hoplites of the past, I wasn't in fact balling. Before I could even get 1/4 of her health down, I pathetically died. At home, I think about the numerous things that were causing me to lose. In my train of thought, I decide that it must be the lack of vertical mobility I'll have throughout pre-hard mode that is causing me to lose. God, I miss rocket boots. Although all hope may seem lost, it isn't. There is still something out there that can provide me with some vertical mobility. I grab my one gravitation potion and take to the skies in search of a red balloon. It cannot be combined with my cloud in a bottle without the Tinkerer's Workshop, and it will have to eat up one of my precious accessory slots. But it might be the edge I need. With an incredible amount of luck, I find it in the first chest I come across. I give it a big, fat, sloppy kiss, then head back to the Queen Bee arena with an abomination in hand. I summon Queen Bee for another wallop, and this time, it is significantly easier to avoid her hoplite reminding slaps. My downfall in this attempt came in the form of her bee minions knocking me into her built bee body. This time around, I die when she has around 700 health remaining. This gives me the confidence boost I've been needing, because I still have yet to use buff stations. If I use buff stations, I will win. I head to the second worst biome in Terraria, also known as the Underground Desert, in search of a bass statue to make Queen Bee's slapperoonies feel a little less detrimental to my physical, mental, and emotional health. Eventually, after many years of constant agony, an entire Irish famine, the finding of a pretty sweet pair of Dune Rider boots, and more snake charmers than I could count on my fingers being dug out of the desert, I see the top left of my corner that I am under the effect of a bass statue. Finally. I take a quick detour to the soup to dig a elevator. In hell, there are a number of hell bats equivalent to the amount of times I've embarrassed myself in public, and countless healing potions sitting around in pots that I want because I'm running out of them. After healing potion collection grinding, I walk all the way back to the underground jungle to challenge the Queen Bee once more.
I forget to set my spawn and die while placing a semi-station.
Now's a great time to complain about the walks of shame in this playthrough. I lack pylons, because pylons are something that I must buy with money, which means that if I go somewhere, I must be prepared to set my spawn there, and not leave that location until I get what I want out of it, lest I walk all the way back there from spawn. Next time, I don't forget to set my spawn, then summon Queen Bee again with buff stations. Surprise, surprise, I win relatively easily with my newfound defense and movement. I soup the relic to further assert my dominance over Queen Bee, then... Oh, what's this? No, don't tell me. Damn it! Yeah, things may or may not be looking a little bit different. Last time you saw me, I was a stinky mage. But now, after noticing the lack of damage I had against Queen Bee, I opted to go for a high damage summoner build. Over the course of 4 hours, I got full obsidian armor, an imp staff, a snapthorn, and I built a Skeletron arena. That I lost to Skeletron in 6 times. It took so long, due to me sleeping through each night and day, not wanting to journey home, to make my situation more favorable after each failed attempt. The Walk of Shame is not something I wanted to do, but now that my footage is sufficiently souped, along with the 3 other bosses I've killed, I have the greatest excuse to go home ever. I need to prove that I got all of this stuff somehow, because as a completely new challenge run channel, you're probably not going to be inclined to believe that I got all of this legit. So here's some old footage of me mining obsidian. Here's some new footage of me mining hellstone for a second time, because why would I be doing this if I cheated in the imp staff already? And you're just going to have to trust me on the snapthorn. I spent so long in the jungle gathering resources that I had enough to just craft the snapthorn. I feel so Sigma. Since I was a ways away from the Skeletron arena I built, I decided now would be a great time to improve the situation I was in. Skeletron does a lot of damage, and I have piss-poor summoner amounts of defense. Need I say more? Defense is what I was lacking. I'm starting to really feel the effects of my lack of mobility, warding, and good accessories. The only thing out of that list that I can really improve is my defense. Fortunately, you can still reforge without the Goblin Tinkerer, assuming that your accessory or weapon is craftable without a Tinkerer's Workshop. How, you ask? The Shimmer. I grab my one and only craftable accessory, the Obsidian Skull, a Life Crystal, and an apple. I then head on a direct course for the Shimmer biome. There I make a Vital Crystal and Ambrosia. Yeah. and reforged my sweet, succulent obsidian skull awarding. My one and only half-decent accessory in this stupid challenge run. Finally, I put together an arsenal of various buffs, including Iron Skin potions, for even more defense, and head to the Skeletron Arena for my first on-record attempt. Oh no. What's that I hear? It seems Skeletron has let his previous victories over me get to him. He has changed his profile picture to that of a World War II tank. These are all signs that he has begun consuming Red Pill content. He must be executed for his crimes immediately. Although he gave me a couple good slaps in the start of the battle, I'm slowly recovering, dodging his hands to the best of my ability. However, the battle doesn't truly begin until I knock out both his hands. Dude, look at this beta male. What do you mean glorifying war isn't Sigma? In retaliation for my comments about his taste in content, he fires skulls at me that do an unprecedented amount of damage. It seems like my extra defense isn't really helping. With my health below half and his well above half, this attempt is definitely not going to end well. Indeed, it doesn't, and I am no longer capable of feeling anything. I sleep the night and day away and start another battle. Great! It happened twice! It happened twice! It happened twice. Twice. Half my health is gone. Reduced to atoms. I am no longer capable of feeling emotion if I lose. I am no longer capable of feeling emotion. I die again. The walk of shame is threatening to make a violent return. I seriously don't want to endure any more preparation. I eat the best buff in my arsenal, a singular steak, and try again. This attempt is a gamble because it's the best the odds of victory are probably ever going to be. Dude, like, why don't we just, like, stop battling so you can sign up for my Sigma virtual class? For just $50 an hour, I can teach you how to properly invest in Haktula coin and how to get more women. I will absolutely never sign up for this man's class. It is a scam. Not cool, man. You can learn a lot from my class. You're some beta anyways. I knock out each hand and then learn that the skulls are easier to dodge on the top platform of my arena. I head straight for the top of my arena the second I catch a glimpse of a skull. I find myself staring at a boss health bar that only has around 1,000 health remaining. My health bar has 3/4 left. This is it, the home stretch. He spins at me in one last-ditch effort to deliver me diabolical backshots and achieve yet another victory for his Sigma male prowess. Unfortunately for him, his spin attack is the easiest attack of his to dodge, so I finally finish off Sigmatron. I immediately head home to soup his relic. Who's the beta now? I then charge back to the dungeon to secure myself a cobalt shield and the bones necessary to craft the spinal tap. I also make sure to slap around the dungeon mobs harder than Daddy Skeletron ever could, because now that he's gone, I'm responsible for all of his disgusting children. I also find the mechanic, who I unbound, so that she can spend the rest of eternity wandering through the dungeon waiting for her goblin husband to save her. Too bad the goblin is busy wandering in the caves for eternity, waiting for his mechanic wife to come save him. They will both live in constant fear and pain forever.
Here is the footage of me getting the cobalt shield and the spinal tap. I could not find a better place to slot this in. I am a very good scriptwriter and editor, please trust in that. I'm very good at lazily flashing images in your face.
I head straight for hell, then begin clearing those weird hell buildings that I never got to know the proper name of. I describe with words how awful that was due to my lack of mobility, but I'll just let the footage do the talking. For the... Damn it! I just made it
Call me
back!
crazy. Can I recommend to you
What?
Insta housing plus bed?
It hurts. It hurts. For shizzle. Oh!
And now there's a fish of which is on land. And speaking of being on land and a fish, it has also done my
Oh!
health bar.
Oh! Well, guess I die. Cool, back to the... Fuck.
How it feels.
And then I die in my house, as recompense for deciding to exist.
Now call me crazy now. I think he has.
How did I manage to die? I need to remember I have to pick up my sawmill every time. I just died of fall damage. Thank you, Terraria. After 6 years of removing hell houses and the building of a new NPC hell, I stand at the very edge of actual hell. I drink a water walking potion and begin the first fight against the wall of flesh. It does not go well. I find myself too far away from the wall itself to damage it because of the damn hungry. I die almost immediately and barely nick the wall's health bar. The future isn't looking bright right now. Fortunately, I have a plan B. Having to go hellstone mining twice was a blessing in disguise, as now I have more than enough hellstone to make a full set of molten armor. That's right, we're going full melee. In my absolute favorite biome, the underground jungle, I collect everything I need to make a blade of grass. In PTSD Central, the dungeon, I open chests till I find the Muramasa. I then take the volcano, a blood butcher I made earlier, the Muramasa, and the blade of grass to a demon altar. There I craft the keys to pre-hard mode success. The Knight's Edge. I head back down to hell for attempt 2. Using a bewitching table, I maintain the same number of minions I had in the first attempt. I also use a sharpening station this time to even further increase my damage. And then I get his health down to half. Not half bad. This attempt made me realize my problem. My absolute foul set of accessories that no one in their right mind would use against the wall of flesh. The amount I miss the Tinkerer's Workshop right now is at its absolute highest. If you didn't know the context, you'd be laughing at me right now, because I'm wearing an obsidian skull and a cobalt shield at the same time. The only reason I still have that skull on is for the sweet warding defense. But I knew I would probably have to part ways with that. I'd take one last look at my obsidian skull, kiss it in its hot mouth, then bury it in the magic storage, never to be seen again. I take with me an iron skin potion to replace the defense I got from that skull, then summon the wall once more, this time in the middle of the world. I then proceed to do worse than I did in the last attempt, despite the fact that my stats are better! I am beginning to lose hope. Over the next few attempts, I experiment with my buffs and awful accessories to no avail. I burn through all of my wall of flesh attempts. So what now? Do I give up? I am nearly to the point where I have done all that I can do, and I'm still losing. Of course, I don't give up. What do you take me for? Some kind of fraud? I've already wasted enough storage space recording this playthrough. I'm finishing it. First, I place buff stations throughout the entirety of Hell to give me an extra stat boost. Second, I have Dune Rider boosts. They go fast on sand. That is the key. I mine copious amounts of sandstone, then start constructing the Great Hell Sand Bridge. If I ever need to run away to regenerate my health, I can do so easily now. Third, I gather my buffs and potions, ready to gamble them away in one last-ditch effort to win. While building the bridge, I got more Guide Voodoo dolls. I summon the wall once more, then die. My day is wasting away before me, and I am starting to lose my mind. I recorded this on the second day of my Christmas break. I could have invited someone over or socialized, but no. I've spent my day fighting a fictional Eldritch whore like a true alpha male. The next attempt, I get him to a quarter. Progress, baby! The attempt after that, I do worse. Absolutely extraordinary. Next attempt, I try drinking a coffee for medium stat boosts. Not much better. Seeing as I don't want to watch my one item that gives me a major stat bonus go to waste, I stick to medium stat bonuses. Then proceed to get the wall down to just 458 health before dying. Go in for the win. Come on. Take it home. 400 health! Are you kidding? 400! Ah! No! Release me! Release me! Despite the fact that I had a full-on crash out moment, this gave me a huge confidence boost. Then finally, after 11 failed attempts, this happened. This attempt. Right here, right now. Let's go, wall. Yeah. Yeah, I get some early damage in. This attempt is not going well. This attempt is not going well. Okay. We're going back. Oh my god, it immediately removed my everything. Just run. Just run. Okay, just go. Oh! Can I get some hearts, please? Oh my god. Just go back in. Just go back in. Don't even care. Oh my god. One. Drink the potion. Go in. We're almost at full health. This is it. Come on. Come on. Come on. This is it. This is it. Yes! Yes! I don't even care that I died. Oh my god! Yes! I win! Now that I have entered hard mode, there are a number of things to worry about, like mobs that can slap me to the moon and back. But I could care less, because down in the pits of hell, where I slew the wild flesh, there lies something priceless to me. An extra accessory slot. We are so back! Guess what else hard mode has to offer? Wings! No more cloud in a bottle, no more balloon! I have earned myself 2 free accessory slots. Now that's what this economy needs. However, that probably won't be enough to prevent my hairline from being pushed back like the Red Sea at the hands of Moses Prime and his friends, because no matter what I do, I still can't reforge, and I still can't combine accessories. In order to function in the presence of any boss in this playthrough, it seems like buffs are gonna be mandatory. Alright, that is it for this video. Sorry if it seems kind of abrupt, because I didn't write this script with the expectations of cutting off at the end of pre-hard mode. I've started this playthrough on, I believe, November 22nd, so this video has been in the works for nearly 10 months. I will make a separate video where I will go more in depth, but for now, I'll just say things have been tough. In December, shortly after beating WoF, I had a mental health crisis that took me quite some time to deal with, and despite lacking motivation, I held on to this wacky video, occasionally chipping away at it till now. It is really surreal to see it nearly done because it has followed me through all the struggle that I've had for the past 10 months. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It will help me out a lot because I just started this channel. So, you know, if you want this to be seen by other people, that's how you do it.